bitches. My daughter has PTSD because of you fucking cops. And what do? You barge into a fucking apartment. Had I been there, I would have killed the first cop through the fucking door. So that didn't sit well with them. They brought 3 more cruisers up there. And because baby's daddy was running his mouth threatening me and shit from the back of a police car, the cops decided it would be better if they took him someplace else. So I didn't beat his ass. So I've been home for probably 15, 20 minutes. And I left at 10 to go over and deal with that bullshit. Now, I'm here, and I'm waiting for the kids to bring me back my dad.
Huh. I'm about to take a dab here in a minute, but I'm kind of scared because it's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. Is it your first one?
Yep.
Oh, you're going to hate it.
Yep.
The only other thing you can do, Cruz, is go sit in the tub, hot water.
I did it last night.
Did it help at all? Yeah. How long were you in for?
Oh, hours.
Yeah, you got to keep putting scalding hot water in there. You almost damn you're going to burn yourself.
I put as hot as water. I put as hot as water in there as I could.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep doing that a couple times a day, and it'll fucking loosen up a lot faster. But I wouldn't go picking anything heavy up. Or bending over too much. One of the cops actually had to leave because he couldn't take me talking.
My fucking vampire battling.
Is that Mom?
I was never arrested. Everybody's still at Crystal's house. Child's hurt or CPS there for Colton and Ryder. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, babe. What they did was Verizon decided to shut phones off. So they shut phones off this morning. You know, I don't Verizon about this. It doesn't matter. It's still go. Okay, whatever. So I want to go over to Boost and switch over to Boost. Or if you can do it, just switch yours to Boost. And we'll do my yeah, it's only 30 to phone, so go turn yours over because we'll get mine later. But go ahead and get yours switched over to Boost. Right downtown, right down here in downtown. Where's Boost at?
Not sure if here, but I know there's like.
Well, you get to Sydney. There's 3 in Sydney, you know. The one's over by the car place that I used to get the car from. We're at Provada. That guy does Boost. But so I already went. I went over there and I told him Trevor's not to be in that apartment anymore because he's going to get their kids taken. Trevor was actually threatening me, which I find absolutely funny because the cop that came in. Remember when the cops came to our house? That real tall one I threatened to beat the fuck out of. I must have made a pretty good impression on him. He remembered me. And he had one of the officers tell Trevor to shut the fuck up or I would kick his ass. So they were trying to talk together. There wasn't no way to talk. So they were talking to Justin, and Justin started denying Rickman. Because they just walked in their apartment. And that tall guy was talking to me and explaining things he wanted to do. He said, man, do you know what it looked like in there? And I was like, no, there's 5 kids I can imagine. He's like, There was knives laying around, balls everywhere. Now I know a cop person that we don't was stuck in there might have been a joint or some item on counter. But he says we could have arrested all four. He's like, but we didn't. He's like, and they're still running around. It's like, we can deal with it. I was like, yeah. So I turned around and I told Justin, hey, you know what leave your apartment? He's like, yeah. I was like, shut the fuck up. Because they'll take your ass to jail. Because that's illegal. And he sat there and he was like, whatever, man. And they walked in their apartment back and I'm like, I tried to have the kids stay out of this way, but I'm not these people that we're sending them to. And that means Trevor would still be around, and I already got him because he's not watching his kids, which is what I said before the county. Now, the kids are going to Marysville, and I informed Kristen and Justin he's never allowed to come back there. If he does, and I told him not show their dicks, not asking, not should not.
Really? Now take another turn? What the fuck?
Clean their apartment, that's what they're doing now. I told him to lay off partying because that's why he was sleeping. Because they were up all night partying and he was sleeping in front of the window, and it wasn't the older baby, it was the other. Climbed over top of his dad.
Leko me jako pakat nacha me jako.
And on the bed, yeah. Yeah. And he laid there through the entire thing. So I tried to call you earlier, but I guess you were busy.
Yeah, she loved your drama way too much.
Your phone call didn't break my line. You're definitely back. Yeah.
Yep, that's fine. Yep, okay. Alright. I love you. Alright. You need to go back in.
Thought I had one out of sun. Huh.
Say what?
Just looking at my shit. I wonder if I could get away from pulling that out
I'm gonna move all my bullshit into the front room. You got a chat party up?
I don't know.
Okay. Easy. Alright, I'll be out there in a minute.
Yeah.
Find something? Oh, I thought you found something. Do you want? Fine, I'll be in a second.
Yes.
Oh.
Alright, I'm firing up a chat and I'll be in there in a second.
I just put a chat up.
Alright, I'll be there in a second.
Yeah. Oh. Ah.
there?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I got to see how this fucking works out. I wind up shitting myself. So if you hear the headset hit the ground and you hear stomping, that's me trying to not, destroy my underwear and my senility. Because if I shit myself at my age, yeah, no, I ain't got no pride. I got rid of that shit a long time ago. This is a little lighter. But it doesn't start trashing.
I need a mayor. I need a governor. I'm not sure which one to take. Maybe take one out of...
You need a harem. You need a harem of harlot bitches that like to fucking have kids. That's what you need.
I need a governor because it's just not going to go right. Alright, let's try to take the one out of Detroit.
My arm's numb.
Back off with it. You'll feel like it's somebody else.
Oh, my eyesight just went out. My nerve.
And then, is there another governor I can steal? Let's take New York's governor and see if that'll be alright. Amani. Send that one to Houston. Well, we're still gonna have to battle that bitch, I'm sure. What are you doing? You go ahead and resort to some other means, bitch. I already got ow. Besides pain, I got a military started. Well. Oh, fuck. Well, if you're there, I can't hear you.
Oh, that was hilarious. My cat caught a mouse, took it into my boy's room to give to his cat as a gift. He got in, pit bull got excited, he dropped it on the floor, walked out.
Huh.
The boy's girlfriend is in the room. She turns to walk out, barefoot, steps full weight on this mouse, and just feels it break under her foot. And then we hear the funniest thing. Have you ever heard? Well, you live up there, you probably have. I don't know how to explain it. It was the funniest scream. I wouldn't have taken it for panic. It didn't even sound human. It sounded like someone had turned a crow loose in the back and stuck rocks in its throat. It was like she was gargling acid. That's funny.
Yes, I know you see the market evil on me, but this because they fucking burned down a couple of your cities and took mine back.
She's still there.
Yeah, I let her have peace. She's got like 3 cities left.
No.
I burnt 2 of them down. I can't remember what the reason why I decided to declare peace, but...
Well, I think last night...
They paid
it was. Well, yeah, she was supposed to pay you. Last I saw, she'd offer you 14 gold, rights to Cleveland, and peace. And you weren't done then because you kept attacking. And then I got off. I don't know what you did to her after that. But the original agreement was you wanted a city.
One more city. I burned a city down after that.
Oh, so no, you said you wanted a city, plus the rights to Cleveland back, plus gold, and the piece. So I don't know if you got that. But that's where we were at last night when I got off.
They didn't give me a city, but I got tired of attacking them. I think I needed to recoup my losses or something.
Yeah.
Huh. You know when you need to push a fart out, but it hurts too much?
Yeah, Emily.
Can't hear you. Both of those. I don't know. New York, New York. We have enough, but yeah, we got enough from you. Yeah, it doesn't matter about you people. bunch of soldiers I sent off. They're still trying to make their way. Oh wow. Look at all them motherfuckers. Alright, Doobie Snacks, we need to take you.
And we're here actually today to discuss the exciting progress that we've achieved under the Operation Warp Speed.
Water is, by far, the most abundant natural resource on Earth, as around 72% of the planet's surface is covered with the stuff. It is also the driving factor behind the origins of life, as we do not yet know of a life form that's not water-based. The same cannot be said for anything else. We know of organisms that don't require light, oxygen, warmth, or even the Earth's atmosphere to survive, as many microbes can stay alive in space too, though every one of them absolutely requires water. While the reasons for all of that may be obvious to most, it makes sense that life evolved around the most abundant resource in the environment, it doesn't have anything to do with the Earth or the environment at all. Water is, in itself, one of the weirdest substances to ever exist, with mysterious properties that aren't just unheard of on Earth, but anywhere in our universe. Right from its highly debated structure to the baffling Mpemba effect, it's exactly these unexplained properties that give water its unique position as the single biggest factor behind all life we know of today, and why finding life based on any other substance anywhere else in the universe is more unlikely than we think. Number 8. Water's inexplicably high surface tension. One of water's most unique and mind-boggling properties is its surface tension. While nothing unusual in itself, as every liquid has some surface pull that keeps its molecules together in that state, water's surface tension is much higher than any other liquid we know of. This unique property has some far-reaching consequences for the evolution of life on Earth. For example, it's how blood, over 80% of which is made up of water, can overcome the force of gravity and circulate around the body. As for why this is, well, you guessed it, we're not sure. Scientists previously believed that it's because of the uniquely strong hydrogen bonds found in the water molecules, though if a recent study is to be believed, that's not actually the case. Apparently its surface tension isn't even static and could change day by day. As the study found, it's stickiest just when its surface is formed, like the exact time that water droplet falls down. Surprisingly, it takes unusually long for it to come down to its original value too, something the researchers didn't understand. What they did clear up, however, is that it has nothing to do with the hydrogen bonds or anything else we know of. Number 7. We don't know what water expands on cooling, or vice versa. That things expand when they're heated up and shrink in size on cooling is one of the fundamental rules of nature. We can see it at play all around us, and a lot of our infrastructure takes this rule into account. Almost every building has expansion joints, allowing it to breathe in or out depending on the season. Rules, however, do not apply to water, as it remains the only known substance that expands on cooling, and vice versa, and we still don't know why. It's not even difficult to verify this. Just take some ice in a container, note its general volume, and wait for it to warm up and liquefy. It would take up less space than in its solid form, which also happens to be one of water's weirdest properties. Science has been trying to answer it for a while, though the potential answers, much like everything else about water, make the whole thing even more mysterious. According to recent research, there is a perfectly good explanation for this unique property. Liquid water doesn't really expand when it's cooled, but actually oscillates between two distinct states of liquid matter. If you cool it down below 0 degrees Celsius, it may seem to be expanding, but if you lower it even further, you'll start to notice that it's contracting too. Keep taking it closer to its freezing point, which is around minus 60 degrees Celsius for pure water, and at one point it would seem to be expanding and contracting with almost the same frequency. While that does seem to explain exactly how and what happens to water when it's cooled, in the way that it clarifies that the real process is even weirder than we imagined, it still doesn't touch on the why. It may have to do with the inherently weird structure of water molecules and how they interact with each other, but then it's not like we're sure about how that works either. Number 6. No one can agree on its structure. Most of us would probably not believe it, but water, perhaps the most studied natural material in history, incites some pretty strong opinions in the scientific community for the simple reason that there still is a lot of debate about how exactly it's structured. A lot of its weird properties could be explained if we just knew how the hydrogen and oxygen bonds in water interact with each other. Surprisingly though, even with our modern research techniques, we still have no idea. While traditional wisdom previously suggested that despite its weirdness, the structure of...
Did you know Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies?
That's great.
So what are you waiting for? John Stamos to get you a scarf?
I'll fill it.
water is still a natural tetrahedron, one recent study found that the shape is actually a more loosely bonded collection of closed rings and chains, which is actually what gives water its weird properties. It's still not a widely accepted opinion yet, though, as other researchers say that the results aren't due to looser bonding at all, but because of the water molecule's ability to rearrange itself into entirely new shapes. Whatever the case, it'll be a while before we can understand the structure of water, let alone the plethora of its other mysteries. Number 5. The Mpemba effect. While there's no doubt that water possesses many abilities that may as well be magic to the scientists studying them, a lot of them have been recent realizations. It's only thanks to recent experiments that we've come to understand the full extent of water's weirdness, as for the majority of history, it was the simplest substance we know of. One of its properties, however, has baffled keen thinkers and amateur scientists alike for centuries, possibly even millennia. Water, contrary to all common logic, freezes at a faster rate when it's hot. Again, it's unlike anything we know of and has been verifiably observed since at least the ancient Greek times. Also known as the Mpemba effect, after an African physics student who wrote the first peer-reviewed paper describing the phenomenon, it's by far the most enduring of water's mysteries. Many experiments have confirmed it throughout the years, though we're still no closer to figuring out why it happens. Number 4. The mystery of the Cambrian explosion. Our understanding of the evolution of life on Earth is pretty linear, that simply single-celled organisms gradually gave way to more complex animals, leading up to all the diversity of life we see around us today. However, that is not the case at all. Complex life is a rather recent and likely accidental development. For an overwhelming period of our history, about 2.5 billion years, life existed as simple, largely immobile creatures, most of whom didn't even need oxygen to survive. It may as well have been an alien landscape altogether, filled with animals, if we can even call them that have little to no resemblance to the mostly water and oxygen-based life forms of today. Then, about 540 million years ago, the variety and complexity of life suddenly exploded in the oceans, and to this day, we have no idea what triggered it. The Cambrian explosion, as it's called, was the single most important event in our pre-evolutionary history, as well as the oldest mystery of the oceans. Some researchers think it was triggered by the rise of oxygen levels in the atmosphere, or the accidental evolution of vision, or, well, something else entirely. They're just not sure, but almost all of them agree that the importance of the Cambrian explosion cannot be overstated. It was the beginning of complex life as we know it, and gave way to almost every life form in the world today, from the simplest of microbes to the entirety of human civilization and everything in between. Number 3.
Hey you, yes, you. I need you to take our quick one-question survey.
Where did all of Earth's water even come from? As we've well established by now, there would have been no life on Earth without water. Thanks to its unique and weird properties, water may just be the answer to why us, as almost no other substance found in nature, behaves quite like it. Moreover, it's also rather convenient to have the one substance required to kickstart life to even show up on Earth, completing the unique set of highly improbable factors that eventually gave birth to life. It begs the question, where did all the water on Earth even come from? If that sounds like a simple question to answer with something like clouds, it's really not. As it happens, we still don't know exactly what brought water to Earth in the first place. Some claim that it came on the back of a comet in the form of ice, though given how the Earth didn't have an atmosphere around that time, all of the water would have evaporated into the open universe. Another theory says that hot vapors escaping from cracks in the Earth's surface gave way to the first clouds, setting the cycle of evaporation, cloud formation, and rains in motion for the first time. Though again, it's all just a theory. Number 2. Water shouldn't even be a liquid. If you take a look at water's placement on the periodic table, provided you know how to read the periodic table, you'll notice something peculiar. It exists right next to gases like hydrogen sulfide and hydrogen selenide, gases being the key word here. If water were to behave like other chemicals with similar properties, it would not be a liquid at all, especially at Earth's temperatures. Water is supposed to freeze somewhere around minus 100 degrees Celsius and evaporate at minus 80 degrees Celsius, as is the case with other gases of its family. As it's clear by now, water doesn't adhere to expectations, which is why it's the only substance we know of that can exist in all 3 states at temperatures hospitable for human life. It can stay liquid at a surprisingly low temperature too, provided that it's free of any impurities. Number 1. The weird properties of water make life on Earth possible. Us going through the absolutely rebellious chemical nature of water chemical substance, and we even have a hard time replicating them in the lab when we want to. That's pretty accurate, though these mysterious properties don't make water alien. In fact, they explain why water has fit in so well with the life-giving ecosystem of the planet. Indeed, it is perhaps the most earthly thing that there is. If water didn't have a higher surface tension than other liquids, it would be impossible for it to stick to and circulate among plant roots. Its ability to expand when frozen allowed water bodies during ancient ice ages to freeze from the top down, allowing life below the surface, which was all life at one point, to survive and adapt when it was over. If it adhered to laws of liquids, water would start turning into ice from the bottom, ensuring that any signs of primitive life died down long before they could even evolve. Adapt. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do smash that thumbs up button below and don't forget to subscribe. We've got brand new videos.
This is Peacock. Peacock, baby! It's streaming, and it's free. E.T. free. Make way for Naughty, we made it free.
Yeah.
Whether it's apocalyptic, prehistoric, in-depth,
Somebody's gotta pay.
You're wrong.
or outer space, it's free. So if you want to pawn it, store it, play it, or save it, here's where you can stream it for free.
Free.
Free. And that's why you can't not watch. I don't buy it. Well, you're gonna get it for free.
Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching Top 10's Net, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 apocalyptic facts about the Earth's greatest mass extinction. Humanity's rise to become the dominant species on the planet seems to have been a fairly orderly progression from one species to another, but this could not be further from the truth. It was more like an arbitrary, often brutal process, a sort of survive or die situation. Since life began on our planet about 4 billion years ago, the Earth has gone through
Yeah, I've been here.
I've been talking.
Well, maybe you should take your fucking mic off mute.
I didn't have my mic on at all.
Oh!
I had the camera going. I had the camera going.
Weird.
No, the camera was on. Take a look. Tell me if you know what the hell this is.
Take a look at your bright. Okay, let me get on the computer.
Look, that's up in this tree.
Oh, can you interact with it at all?
Nope. It just says immune when I try to shoot it. I can't touch it. I can't pick it up. It's new. I haven't seen it in the tree before.
They trying to kill my vampire.
Oh, that's probably the only you ain't got to worry about. That's the first time I've seen that in a tree. I had no idea that was there.
They can die. Let's see. Vampires can be killed when they are inside the capital. This also applies to attacks initiated by the vampires themselves. Vampires can be killed when they are on a vampire castle improvement. This is very similar to the situation mentioned above. Remember, in both of these situations, vampires can only retreat once per turn. So a good tactic to use is to identify where the closest vampire castle is, set up an ambush there, and kill them after they retreat. Vampires can be killed by nukes and comet strikes in apocalypse mode. Vampires that get thrown into a volcano by a soothsayer during Appease the God competition in apocalypse mode also do not regenerate.
That just sounds horrible. Vampires are thrown into volcanoes.
Yeah.
That sounds a little harsh.
Right? Hey, they're trying to appease the gods. Rah!
But with a vampire?
Why not? They're supposed to be the Evil Dead or some shit, or Walking Dead, or... Ah. Oh, it is 1600 AD. Okay, back needs to hurry up, get better. What's today, Wednesday?
Tuesday.
No, it can't be Tuesday.
Yeah, we had trash picked up today. Today's Tuesday.
Fuck, let me look. No, it can't be.
Yep.
It's Tuesday. You're right. It's a rarity, you're right. Oh, fuck. Something of mine. Not my pikeman now. Well, that's just one more unit I do not have to pay. I'm starting to wonder if there ain't a spy in Houston sowing dissent.
Oh, Ghost just sent me a message.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess he wants. You want to come in? He's the chat party.
What?
It's a chat invite. Ghost. You want to get on here and play some D?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright.
Is that the one that thinks we're going to join his clan?
I don't know.
I forget.
Ghost something or other.
Yeah.
4, and then 20's in there. I know that. What, is he trying to get us to join his clan?
Oh, there was one of them thinking we're going to join, and I'm like, yeah, we'll see how it looks. knowing damn well I ain't gonna join.
They have a hope.
Well, I'm just, I've always been the kind that just tests my own clan.